Hello, all you wonderful people out there. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you very much for lending me your time and your ear and listening into another gamer's memory. Um, the one that I wanted to talk about was actually this is from when I think I was like 9 years old. So this is a long time ago, like 2 decades back. Um, um, I had been always been competitive with my brother in fighting games, like my eldest brother in fighting games. We play them back and forth constantly. And for the longest time, I could never legitimately beat him. And like the few times I did win back then, I knew he let me win so that he could just keep playing. So I kind of had a long time coming for this and like playing games constantly against him, like Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Street Fighter, Fighter's History. Like we played a lot of fighting games against each other, and he was always kicking my ass. So the time of reckoning actually came about shortly after my ninth birthday. It was New Year's Eve. I know this much for a fact. It was New Year's Eve. It was people were up and we were just chilling out, having a nice time. I don't think my parents were home. I think they went out to a concert that evening. I They either went to a concert or they just went. I know they were out together. I just don't remember exactly what their plans were. Um, we stayed up playing fighting games, like a wide variety of games all night. But since they were older, they were doing their thing and shit, and but I was there playing fucking video games, and then Street Fighter Alpha, A Warrior's Dreams, which we had at the time, was put in our Sega Saturn, and people had been playing it. They've just been going around. It took a while for me to actually get a turn, if I remember right. This one of our friends from we were in an apartment complex at the time, and one of our friends from way down the hall literally pushed their huge ass fucking TV down to our apartment, and we played doing that. I was like, the TV was. I'm sitting right now. The TV was about this high. Like it was a huge fucking TV. The screen was big as shit. It was like big, hefty, fucking old TV. And we were playing this fucking game on it, and I finally got my turn. Um, I decided to pick Ryu, and I picked him in his alt blue color instead of sticking with his normal white gi. And I somehow just started to go on a winning streak. And the first person I had to play was actually my elder brother. Damien is his name. Like before then, I could never figure out how to beat him until I started to pay attention to how he played. And once I paid attention to how he was playing, I was able to somewhat mimic him. Like I didn't fully copy everything he did, but I used tactics that he would use against me in order to kind of take over the match. I stopped being so worried about like when I was a little kid, so I was worried about doing special moves all the time. So I stopped worrying about doing special moves and started more or less worrying about how I could link basic attacks together. And then from basic attacks, I would lead the basic attacks and combinations into special moves. And that started the retribution, I should say, of me actually getting a legitimate win on him. Like, let's put it this way: we were playing Street Fighter Alpha, and in best 3 out of 5 matches, he and I went toe to toe, back and forth that one match. Like and like we had the handicap settings so that the power didn't like so your health didn't just run right the fuck out. Like we that match in and of itself took 20 fucking minutes. We were playing trying to beat each other for 20 minutes. In the best 3 out of 5 on Street Fighter Alpha. I know I had Ryu. I don't remember who did he have. It wasn't Ken. He didn't play with Ken at the time, and it wasn't a mirror match. If I'm right, I think he had Sagat. He might have had Sagat. I think is. I'm leaning towards Sagat. I think yeah, he had Sagat, and we were no. It wasn't Sagat. It was Charlie. It was Charlie. Now I'm thinking about it. It was Charlie. He was tagging the fuck out of me. We were playing like back and forth, like just beating the shit out of each other one way across the screen, and I wish someone had like recorded that shit on a VHS or something at the time. Like we beat each other back and forth constantly. And we had like 8 or 9 people in the room, just sitting down. They're watching this shit like in all. Like we played back and forth like that whole match, and it literally came down to one fucking hit, and we both at the very end of the match we both geared up for our supers. I think he went for the combo that Charlie does, and I went for the super hurricane kick, and I just barely won out. Like I literally barely won out. Like if it was like one of those moments when you're at the arcade and you've got a big ass crowd of people behind you, and you have like a really good match with somebody on a fighting game, and that shit is amazing when it happens. Like, we have been going back and forth for like the longest time in that match, and and I remember, I was so anxious because I wanted to win. Like, this is one of the one times I will admit I was not playing for fun. I was playing to win. And I was playing to win because my brother had beaten me so fucking much. So I was thoroughly thrilled after I won that match. Like I was fucking ecstatic after I won that match. And then in rotation, I went through people quickly and got back to him, and then we had another long match, and I won again. But this time I was more or less worried about having fun. But we've been playing that game for like 3 or 4 hours in rotation, and I stayed on that controller a good portion of that time, like just beating people constantly. And the rule that we had set in place was that whoever you win with, you stick with that character. Like you move on with that character until you lose. So I I put in some time that night, and it went well into from December 31st that year into New Year's Day. Like we were playing that was where we were playing, and I remember enjoying that a lot. I remember everybody sitting down and just having a good time playing that, and like that was a lot of fun. That was something I can't. It's something I can't exactly simulate now because I don't have all the same. I don't have as many people in my life, particularly as I did back then. But I would love to have a moment like that again. Like that was just something so fun, and at the time, Blakey, I'm not going to say I didn't have fun when I actually did beat my brother, but like you got to understand, as the youngest child in the family, and everybody is better at everything than you are, and you finally outdo them. Like when you finally outdo them at that point, like you just feel completely elated. Like you just feel like this high, like I fucking did it. I finally, like I finally did something better than you, and like that's how it felt. Like all in all, like we everybody had a good time and we had a lot of fun. I was probably the youngest person in the house at the time, but we had a lot of fun and like people were watching. Like the bad thing is, by like the third or fourth time I fought my brother in rotation, he had actually figured out what I had done, and then kind of did the opposite. It was still another close match, but then he ended up winning. So like I was like at that point after I got beat, I decided to go to fuck to sleep. I was tired, but like this is just one of those things. Like if you experience it, it's like so amazing and there's not very many opportunities now with gaming because of the way that it's kind of going to allow for something that pure and genuine to happen in a fun environment. There's not a whole lot of opportunity for that. And then the places that does happen are usually tournaments and stuff with sponsorships and things that are paid for. And like personally, I don't have any interest in that type of stuff at the moment. It's just I don't want to have to be a part of some sort of special team in order to just have an enjoyable time with other people who enjoy playing video games. So that's it. I'm pretty much done. Thank you guys very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story. Keep your eyes and ears up for more of my stuff. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out.